I've been speaking for a long time about Democrats and talking about what was accomplished. And you know what? I finally am watching Biden come out of his shell and start promoting and start letting folks understand what he has done. You know, yesterday on one of my shows, people started to say, why is Biden's economy so terrible and what is he going to do about it? Trying to put progressives and Democrats on the defensive. And I said, we need to lean into what these clowns are talking about. When I say clowns, I'm talking about the Republican leadership that's misleading their party at large. The reality is the Biden administration, even without complete with complete homogeneity within the party, has been able to do quite a bit. First of all, getting us out of the funk created by the COVID recession. I mean, we came out of it faster than any other administration have come out of something of this nature. Wages are up. All the positives that one can think of is there. So I'm telling those who are running for office, lean into the question. In other words, go ahead and tell folks, we support what's occurring, and this is what we have done. But there's one more important thing that has to be done, and Biden did it in this speech. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Record unemployment declines, record increases in the people in the labor force. I would argue the Biden economic plan is working and is getting America back to work, back on its feet. But the record doesn't stop there. Today's report also tells us that record wage gains, especially for workers in some of America's toughest jobs, women and men who work in the frontline jobs in restaurants, hotels, travel, tourism, desk clerks, line cooks, wait staff, bellmen, they all saw their wages at a historic high, the highest in history. Their pay went up almost 16% this year, far ahead of inflation, which is still a concern. Overall, wage gains for all workers who are not supervisors went up more in 2021 than any year in 4 decades. There's been a lot of press coverage about people quitting their jobs. Well, today's report tells you why. Americans are moving up to better jobs, with better pay, with better benefits. That's why they're quitting their job. This isn't about workers walking away and refusing to work. It's about workers able to take a step up, provide for themselves and their family. This is the kind of recovery I promised and hoped for the American people, where the biggest benefits go to the people who work the hardest and are more often left behind, the people who have been ignored before, the people who just want a decent chance to build a decent life for their families, just given a clear shot. For them, wages are up, job opportunities are up, layoffs are down to the lowest levels in decades, and there are more chances than ever to get ahead. No wonder one leading economic analyst described what we've accomplished in 2021 as the strongest first-year economic track record of any president in the last 50 years. Today, America is the only leading economy in the world where the economy as a whole is stronger than before the pandemic. Now I hear Republicans say today that my talking about this strong record shows that I don't understand. A lot of people are still suffering, they say. Well, they are. Or that I'm not focused on inflation. Malarkey. They want to talk down the recovery because they voted against the legislation that made it happen. They voted against the tax cuts for middle-class families. They voted against the funds we needed to reopen our schools, to keep police officers and firefighters on the job, to lower health care premiums. They voted against the funds we're now using to buy COVID booster shots and more antiviral pills. I refuse to let them stand in the way of this recovery. And now my focus is on keeping this recovery strong and durable, notwithstanding Republican obstructionism. That even as jobs and families' incomes have recovered, families are still feeling the pinch of prices and costs. So we're taking that on as well. And the way to do that is not to step back from the economic progress we've made, but to build on it. I've laid out a 3-part plan to address costs families are facing. 1, first part of that plan, fixing the supply chain. 2, protecting consumers and promoting competition. 3, lowering kitchen table costs, including with my Build Back Better Act.
Notice what Biden did. He first came and said, the economy is doing fine, everything is working right, but we are going to go ahead and do more. In as much as the wages are up, inflation may be a problem, and we are going to solve that problem, because he doesn't say it the way I normally do. I always talk about the reason we have inflation is because of corporate greed. Corporations have the opportunity to gouge people, and that's what capitalism does. They only care about their shareholders. They only care about the executive bonuses, etc. Biden didn't go into all of that. Biden just said one thing. He said, capitalism without competition isn't capitalism. Now, Joe Biden is wrong there. Capitalism tries to get rid of competition because it is their goal to maximize the profit of their shareholders and maximize the profit of the bonuses of their executives. And as such, monopoly is what's important. So therefore, in a capitalist society, the capitalist structure tries to monopolize everything. That is by design. That is what it says. I want to do whatever is necessary to make the most profit for my shareholders, no matter what it takes. Now, when the president says capitalism isn't capitalism if it doesn't have competition, he's wrong. What he means is capitalism doesn't allow competition. What we want is free enterprise, where all have within our democracy the ability to participate, and in doing so, things work much more efficiently. We also get more, in the case of prices, we have price competition the way it is really intended to be. Now, but importantly, what else did Biden do? He pointed out that absolutely all the policies that got us out of the recession, all the policies that took kids out of poverty, all the policies that reinflated the economy, the Republicans all voted against it. So therefore, do not be fooled. Had it been for Republicans, this economy would have still been in the gutter. And that is what needs to be promoted during the election. The failure of Republicans for any economic policy to give a positive economic outcome to the American people. And if they were to attempt to elect those people, that is what they'll get. And note what has happened under the current administration. And it is important, it is very important for every single Democrat to lean into what was done and not allow Republicans to put them on the defensive. It is time that Democrats put Republicans on the defensive for not being a part of the solution that has inflated this particular economy, that has made the wages better, that has given other people, workers, the opportunity to say, you know what, if you're not going to pay me, I am not staying. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.